What's going on, everybody? This is Roaming Prepper, and thank you for joining me today. Today's going to be a funny one. So apparently, one of the major countries has decided that a bunch of other countries technically don't exist, in their opinion. Seriously, they just decided they don't exist anymore. So I'll be right back, and I'll tell you which country it was and what their rationale was. Welcome back, everybody. This is a Roaming Prepper. I'm your host, Pete. First of all, don't forget to like and subscribe. I normally premiere these videos. If for some reason I forget to be in my own premiere, don't make it, I'm at work, whatever, I'll leave the chat open so you guys and girls can all talk, and you can leave any questions you have in the comments below the video. So what was I talking about? So apparently, and this is from the Wall Street Journal opinion here, and it says China embarrasses Macron on Europe. Emmanuel Macron has been trying to triangulate between the US and China, and it isn't going well. China's ambassador to Paris has now embarrassed the French president by declaring that the former nations of the Soviet Union are not really sovereign nations under international law. That's not a joke. So China's ambassador Liu Shay was asked on Friday on French TV whether he considered Crimea to be part of Ukraine under international law. 2014, as we all know, Russia occupied the Crimea, which has been part of Ukraine since the Soviet Union days. Essentially, China saying that none of the nations that were once under the USSR are technically sovereign nations, in their opinion. Needless to say, that absolutely pissed off France. They've just called in the Chinese ambassador. Belgium has called their Chinese ambassador. As a matter of fact, several EU countries have called in the Chinese ambassador. The opinion piece, which was actually a pretty decent one, written by the Wall Street Journal folks. Actually, it's by the editorial board. It doesn't give credit to the individuals. Yeah, they just decided, yeah, you are not countries anymore. So that would include, hold on a second here, Ukraine, obviously, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, which are Baltic nations and members of NATO, as well as Poland, Romania, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Moldova, and Albania, and several others. Anyway, long story short, that's a slew of countries in Eastern Europe that China basically says, you know, you're not really your own country. Russia owns you, is basically the gist of it, and pissed them all off. Why would China say this? Well, we all know China has very significant interests in multiple islands, many of them called the Spratlys, but it's not just the Spratlys, and the Paracel Islands, offshore Japan, offshore the Philippines. Obviously, Taiwan is a no-brainer. And in giving this justification to Russia, if Russia returns the favor, now you have two members of the five permanent members of the Security Council who are on the same page as far as, well, we once owned you at some point, regardless of whether it was 100 or 1,000 years ago, so we can claim you now. This is the same rationale China's using to basically take what are really not little islands, they were more like coral reefs, and turning them into legit islands. And basically military bases, they're basically unsinkable aircraft carriers. This is just more posturing, folks. This is more posturing by the PRC to try to give Russia justification to do what they're doing. Now, how does this affect us? Well, as folks in the Western world, whether you're in Argentina or whether you're in the US or Canada or Mexico or in Europe, it really doesn't affect us directly yet. However, what it looks like is they're setting the groundwork for more BS later, for more surrounding of Taiwan, maybe a blockade of Taiwan, cut off microprocessors. or a justification to say, well, Russia is simply reuniting with its prior state, so now we can give them weapons because we're helping them be reunited with a rebellious republic. And of course, in the same time, giving themselves justification to chase Taiwan. So does this affect us directly? No. Will it affect inflation? Not really. Can it affect supply chain? Only if this becomes justification for some kind of escalation. And that's where we start getting into the gray zone, because we don't know where they're going. Again, it could just be political expediency. But if China's trying to set up the pieces to go make a run at some other area, i.e. the island 90 miles away from them, this is a great way to start doing it. They're trying to get an international consensus as to whether or not a country that once owned another country can go back and take it. I can tell you right now, though, Japan is starting to militarize very quickly, and there's more than a good chance that if they go after those islands off Japan, they're going to get into it, and that's going to escalate very quickly. So right now, what to make of this? Really political BS. Not a reason to freak out, not a reason to be concerned yet, but it could be a step towards something more that could ultimately affect the supply chain in a big way. Bentley, don't eat the cookies. Bentley, we don't eat the cookies out of the pantry. And he just ran into the pantry and hid. He's looking at me. I see his little nose from the door. Now he ran out. Anyway, yes, thief. Anyway, he already got a cookie. He doesn't need to. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this one. This is really just geopolitical posturing. Don't freak out about it. But be aware that this could be lining up something bigger down the road. And this is the kind of stuff we need to pay attention to. Don't freak. Just watch it and see where it goes. It may turn into nothing. It might become a precursor to something more. So, folks, situational awareness, as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for being with me today. And again, not a big deal. Pay attention. Don't worry about it for now. We've got bigger fish to fry in the economy and other places, much less worrying about China's opinion of someone else. You guys be good, be safe. Don't freak over these news reports because these are simply pieces of a puzzle. What I want to know is what the hell the puzzle's going to look like when it's completed. You guys take care of yourselves, help each other out if you can, and I will see you later on.